Sorry guys, madam came just. Okay, so here ROM read-only memories. Okay, so what is this ROM? ROM is nothing but a small chip. ROM is a simple chip. Okay, either it is like this available. Usually ROMs are so someone sent a message. Okay. Okay, so ROM chip is a simple chip like this. Okay, you can, if you write something inside, means while ROM chip is manufacturing, by default instructions or data will be inside this ROM chip only, which we cannot able to change. Okay, so later this PROM chips are came, that is called a programmable read-only memories. Means it is again empty chip. It is now empty chip, nothing inside a chip. So whenever the manufacturer of these motherboards, so what they will do, they will program it as per their requirement. Okay, so chip manufacturer manufacture a empty chip. Programmer burn a program inside this chip. That is a PROM chip, programmable read-only memory. But once you program, you cannot erase it. You cannot remove, you cannot change. Okay. Next one is erasable programmable read-only memory. Means a chip contains a data. You can able to remove it. Okay. We can able to erase it, but we cannot able to rewrite it. Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, that is a EPROM chips. These EPROM chips are rewritable, means once you program, you can remove it and you can rewrite the program inside. So most of our BIOS chips, means our ROM chips, not ROM chips, it is EPROM chips. This ROM chip, we are calling it as a BIOS chip. Okay. So what is BIOS? Basic input output system. So this is the BIOS chip. Okay. So basic input output system. It is look like this one, guys. What is a BIOS? BIOS is nothing but a firmware or firmware. Firmware or firmware. Okay, that is a BIOS. Okay, it's basically a small program. BIOS is basically a small program. It is called as a firmware or firmware. Okay. So what is the use of this BIOS? When you start your computer, so BIOS chip will tell how to start your PC. Okay, it will help you to boot your system. BIOS chip help you to boot your system. So during the boot up, it perform power on self-test. So when you power on your system, BIOS chip recognize your hardware devices, like what CPU you are inserted, what RAM you are inserted, what hard disk you are connected, what CD-ROM you are connected, like that. It recognize the devices. And BIOS chip also, the BIOS is also helps your operating system. What is that sound outside? Sound it is. Okay, BIOS is also help you to locate and load operating system. BIOS helps operating system to access hardware devices. Guys, these BIOS chip is manufactured by different companies like AMIBIOS, Edward BIOS, Phoenix BIOS. Different manufacturers manufacture this BIOS chip. Okay. Again, what is BIOS? Basic input output system. We have a upgraded version is there nowadays. we are using UEFI instead of BIOS. We are using UEFI or EFI. We are using instead of BIOS. What is UEFI? Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. It is also a BIOS, but next edition type, new version type. Okay. It has some features because nowadays we are all using 64-bit machines. All new 64-bit processors, motherboards having this UEFI type. Some motherboards having BIOS come UEFI. We have an option. We can use which one you want to use it. Okay. Okay. During the boot system, so during your whenever you start your PC will receive a power. Sorry. So when you press the power button, the power is distributed to your system. Okay. So system test itself, all the components, all the connected components are working or not. So that is called a post, power on self test. Who perform this post? BIOS only. Okay. So your BIOS contains entire hardware information, your motherboard, onboard chips information, their features, and the connected device, connected components like a CPU, RAM, hard disk, CD-ROM, those information also. It will recognize those devices and store in the BIOS chip. Guys, this is the boot processing. Now I'm not going with the boot processing, but first important is post power on self test. This is the BIOS settings. This is the BIOS settings. If you see, this is the in the BIOS setting, there is a system date and a time and a CPU information. CPU type is i7-4500U. CPU it is 1.8 gigahertz CPU speed, 4 MB L3 cache memory. Fixed hard disk is 1 terabyte of fixed hard disk, 1000 GB. SATA, it is SATA ODD, means it is a optical drive. DVD writer is there. And total memory means the RAM, total RAM size is 8 GB with the 1600 megahertz. 1600 megahertz means it's a DDR3 model. 1600 megahertz means it is a DDR3 model. This is the one of the screens. Okay, BIOS settings can be look different based on the BIOS manufacturer. Okay, this is the advanced part, like you can enable or disable or you change certain hardware related settings. Okay, here if you see Intel virtualization technology is enabled. So normally some system when you purchase the either it is a desktop or laptop, by default some systems by default Intel virtualization technology is in disabled mode. How to enable? You have to go to this BIOS settings, then go to search where is your Intel virtualization technology and change disable to enable. So what is it? In BIOS, we have a hardware related features settings. We can manage the settings through BIOS settings. This is security. You can give password to your BIOS settings. Okay, you can give password to your BIOS settings. It's a possible that some people will go to your BIOS settings. It's possible if it is open system. Okay, people you put a certain settings. You enable, disable certain hardware related. Okay, so you put a certain settings to your desktop or laptop. Okay, some people what they will do, they'll go to your BIOS setting and they will try to change it. So what to do? We put a password for a BIOS settings. So if anyone is trying to go inside your BIOS settings, it will ask password. If they know your password, if you give password, then only they can able to enter. Okay, user password for see what is the BIOS settings. If you know if you enter user password, you can able to see BIOS settings. Supervisor password can if you enter a supervisor password, so then you can change BIOS settings. Okay, guys, remember BIOS password is different from your operating system password. BIOS password stores in your BIOS chip. Your operating system password stores in the operating system, means in your hard disk only. Okay. Okay, this is a boot means
हेलो
when I start my computer.
हेलो
Yeah, tell me,
हाँ
tell me,
भैया
tell me.
आपकी कॉल आई थी हाँ 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 भैया
Speaking to someone else.
कैसे क्या
Okay, okay, okay. Boot. When you start your computer, guys, system don't know from where it has to search for operating system. Your BIOS will tell from where it has to search for operating system. Okay, this is a boot priority list. So one list. Okay, so you can change the boot priority list also. As per this list, when you start your computer, your BIOS will search, like your system will search operating system from CD-RAM. Then if it is CD-RAM does not contain any bootable device, bootable drives or bootable disk, then it will search for a removable devices, means like a pen drives, any pen drive contains a kind of thing. Okay, hard drives. Okay, if you are a hard disk having a operating system on that, like that, it will search. For example, you insert a operating system content pen drive. You start your computer. You started your computer. Then first it will search in a CD-RAM. The CD-RAM contains any OS disk is there. Now, then search in a removable devices like a pen drives. Yes, my pen drive contain operating system. Then load operating system. That's it. Even if your hard disk having an operating system, it don't search. It load from the pen drive only. It's a priority list. For example, your operating system in the hard disk only, not in any CD-RAM or a pen drives. So first it will search again CD-RAM, then pen drive, then means removable device, then hard disk. It found operating system in hard disk, it will load. For example, your hard disk also don't have an operating system, then it will search in a network. So you can change this boot priority. For example, my boot priority is hard disk. First one is hard disk. It will try to check our operating system from hard disk. It is there, then load it. If it is not there, check in the next device. So this boot priority also given by your BIOS only. Okay, guys. What is a BIOS? Basic input output system. It is a firmware. Firmware is nothing but a small software. Okay, it is a software or a program or application. It is a low level control of your hardware devices. This BIOS will help you to perform post operations. It will recognize your hardware devices like the CPU, RAM, hard disk, CD-RAM kind of stuff. It loads and locate operating system. It will tell where is an operating system, where to search operating system, how to load operating system. It will tell. And also it will help operating system. What are the hardware devices on system? So then how to work with the hardware devices to operating system. UEFI is also same as a BIOS, guys. It is a newer version of your BIOS. Okay, it's a unified extensible firmware interface. Different manufacturers are manufacturing this BIOS. If you see, this is a phonics BIOS. Okay, phonics BIOS. You can get system configuration from BIOS settings. So how to go to these BIOS settings? We have seen BIOS settings. We can change system hardware related configuration. We can enable, disable certain features. We can set date and time. Okay, we can set passwords. We can change boot priorities also. Okay, but how to go to this BIOS settings? Depends upon your system. Okay, so you have a BIOS key. First of all, when you start your PC, so you power on your PC or you restarted your PC, means at starting only. When you press the power button, immediately start pressing BIOS key. But how you know BIOS key? So when you start your PC, either top corner or bottom, you will see this. How to go to by F2 to setup, F12 to only boot menu, F2 to setup. Okay, so if you don't know, even if your system not showing these things, so still you can search in a Google based on your laptop or desktop manufacturing wise. Okay, so company wise also, like a Dell, with a Dell model like that, you can search, you can find your BIOS key. Most possible BIOS keys are delete button. Dell means delete button, or F2, F10, F12, F11, F9. Mostly it is F2 is the most common for a lot of PCs, or F10 is another one. Certain laptops it is required to press function key, F1 key plus your BIOS key. Okay, once you are going to your BIOS settings, you can check your date and time, you can set password, you can change hardware features. Okay, you can enable, disable hardware features, you can change boot priorities, and once completed, then you can save and exit by press F10. Guys, remember again, so I've written here, and also you can check system configurations like CPU, RAM, hard disk or SSD, CD-ROM or DVD information. So BIOS password says, why put a star here? BIOS password is different from operating system password. There is a rumor, some people believe if you remove the BIOS battery and operating system password also gone. No guys, BIOS password is different, operating system password is different. This is about a basic BIOS settings. One more small part is there. Guys, this is called a CMOS battery. Do you understand up to now what is BIOS settings?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Guys, BIOS. One second. Class is there. Sorry guys. Today a little disturbance, everything. Okay. I showed that, right? So what is this dat? It is from Microsoft only. Okay, because of no third-party tools won't work for a Microsoft. This is for a repairing purpose. Okay, this is for a to repair or to work with your system, like you want to do certain things. What is this? The tablet is also there. Microsoft at Windows 10. Yeah, this is that Windows 10. This is good. Okay, now it will come. So this locksmith will give you, we can reset the password. Explorer will give you, like you can open like a my computer type and you can take backup. And if there is a problem with your registry, you can reset registry, disk management and other things also will get it. File system checking. This is the data. So sir or Sai sir relative got one problem. He need a help. That's I told them they forget their password. So I told them this is a solution. Okay, DART.
Sir, they forget their computer password or what?
Windows 10 password. If you forget your Windows 10 password,
Yes.
okay, you can use this DAT. That is a simple image, like a repair disk image type. For repairing purpose, we will use this kind of DAT. And there is a locksmith. Locksmith is used to unlock or unlock account kind of stuff.
Okay, sir.
So we'll come back to our CMOS battery, guys. CMOS battery, actually it is a lithium battery. CMOS battery is actually lithium battery. Lot of people believing CMOS battery means the battery is made up of CMOS technology. No guys, CMOS is a technology used to manufacture chip, like your BIOS chip, RAM chip or a CPU chip. Okay, your graphics related or audio chips on motherboard, you have seen lot of chipsets. These are all manufactured by CMOS technology. Okay, complementary metal oxide semiconductor field effective transistor. It is a nothing but transistor technology. See, complementary meaning is there is a two type of MOSFETs are there, NMOS and PMOS. Combination of this NMOS and PMOS called CMOS. Okay, it is not a battery. CMOS is not a battery. CMOS battery is actually lithium battery. Okay, we call this lithium battery, 3 volts lithium battery, as a CMOS battery because the voltage and the current is enough to give power supply to your CMOS chip. Okay, you have a BIOS chip. In BIOS, there is a certain data like your date and time, passwords, settings, configurations, date and time, passwords, settings, configurations are stored in your CMOS chip only. This is another one. All stores in your CMOS, sorry, your BIOS chip, right? So we have seen the settings, right? We can able to give password, we can change certain settings, we can give date and time, and this date and time also continuously it will run. But when you power off your system, power supply is not going to your BIOS chip now. So what happened? Your BIOS settings go to factory default. Go to factory default. Restore to factory default. So your date and time is gone, your password will be gone, your settings will be reset back to the old settings. So every day are you required to set these pass settings? Difficult, right? So what to do? I am giving this CMOS battery. CMOS battery giving power supply to our BIOS chip. CMOS battery, that is lithium battery, 3 volts lithium battery, give power supply to your BIOS chip. Give power supply to your, how many people? Go to your BIOS chip. So then, because of this continuous power to your BIOS chip, okay, even you shut down your computer, there is a power supply to your BIOS chip. Now, data still remains. What are the date and time? Continuously it will run. Your passwords will be there and your BIOS settings and configurations remains like that only. That's why we are using this battery. Okay, guys. Battery is lithium battery, 3 volts lithium battery. Why it is called a CMOS battery? Because of it is supporting our CMOS chip, that is our BIOS chip. Okay. Originally CMOS means complementary metal oxide semiconductor. If you cannot able to remember that much, CMOS is a technology used to manufacturing chips like your BIOS chip, ROM chip, RAM chip, CPU chip, all these things are manufacturing using this CMOS technology. Okay.
Sir, the date, time, and the password system settings are all stored in BIOS, not in CMOS, right?
Not in CMOS. CMOS is nothing.
Manufacturing
CMOS is
company.
a word, that's it. It is a technology, a transistor.
Okay, sir, because the first point is written that it is used to store the date, time, and system configuration.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. So even I didn't read that one, so I copied from that points. I add these points to our one. Okay. Very good. So battery is used to give power supply, and that is lithium battery. We call this
So,
battery as CMOS.
sir, basically this battery is giving supply to the BIOS, right?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Some cases like you start your PC, on PC. It's a display is like this. CMOS checksum, CMOS date and time not set. This kind of CMOS checksum error. So mostly it is first time you got it. First time when you start your PC, you got this one. You go to BIOS settings. You change all the settings as per your requirement, and you start working. Once your work completed, you shut down your PC. Next day you open. Again you are getting same error. Meaning is this battery power is gone. The power it is not does not contain enough power. Less than 3 volts it is there. So obviously we'll get this kind of error. If you got this kind of error means CMOS checksum error. It is a most possible the battery is weakened. What to do? Go to market, ask a CMOS battery. Okay, ask CMOS battery or take this battery, go to market, purchase another battery, insert the battery and start your computer. Again, it will show like this. Go to BIOS settings, change all settings, save the settings and work. So next day you won't get this error because first time you are getting because of your operating system date and time is different. Your CMOS means your BIOS date and time is different. Okay. Of course, guys,
Sir,
some people. Yeah, tell me.
so for how much time this battery, so how much maximum time this battery gives supply to
Yeah, very
BIOS?
very good. So I understand question. Okay. So whenever you put a battery, today you put a new battery, fresh battery. How long? Like is it support for 1 month or 2 months or 1 year? Like that,
Yes, sir.
right? So it will support more than 3 years minimum. Earlier days 10 years, but now new desktops are maximum 5 years, less than 5 years, but 3 to 5 years guarantee it will work.
Okay, sir.
Computer chips require very less power, basically, except CPU and RAM.
Yes, sir. It's seeming because 3 volt is very small
Yeah, 3
amount.
volts is very less.
Yes, sir.
And whenever you start your PC, of course, it is getting power supply directly from your SMPS and motherboard. It is getting power supply. When you are not using, that is very less time, right? So that time only it is CMOS battery is important.
Okay, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, guys. So some people will tell if you remove this battery and reinsert the battery, your OS password will gone. No. Okay. Your password won't be gone. Only BIOS passwords, date and time, and of course every setting go to factory default. Okay. Actually, this is also should be changed. Battery which powers BIOS memory or ROM memory is called CMOS memory. So like that you have to put it. So later I will change it. Okay, even there is a some small confusion always in the wording, guys. So CMOS stores date and time. So you have to take context as like a CMOS BIOS. Okay, BIOS store date and time. Okay. So because of that CMOS word, people use in a two ways. One is as a battery, one is as a chip. So the battery is lithium battery. CMOS is a transistor, which is used to build chips. Okay, that's it. That's about your part. But there is an internal part is there that is called a your boot processing. But boot processing I will tell separately. So two more parts I will give and I will give you a break. Otherwise I will continue tomorrow. So we'll see that one. So actually, I thought I will complete the including hard disk also. We'll see. Time disturbance. Okay, guys, motherboard. What is a motherboard? Motherboard is a main circuit board. It is all devices. Either they will on motherboard or to motherboard, either directly or indirectly, it will connect it to our motherboard only. Motherboard having different type of slots, connectors are there, like a processor slots or sockets, memory slots, expansion slots, like a PCI slots, PCIe slots, AGP slot means graphic card related one. Okay, chipsets, different type of chipsets are there. SATA connector, IDE connector, flap disk drives in olden days. Okay, CMOS battery can connect power supply connectors, heatsink connectors, front panel connectors, different type of connectors, slots, sockets kind of stuff is there. This is one of the motherboard which is little older. Okay, so you can see the yellow one that is a CPU socket, and next to the yellow one there is a one heatsink one that is north bridge. If you see that the green that is a AGP slot, and next there is a white bars that is PCA slots. Like if you want to insert additional NIC or additional audio card or USB cards, you can put it in a PCA slots. AGB slot for graphic cards, and the blue one is a RAM slots. Okay, and other components. You can see there is a south bridge, there is a 20 pin ATX power supply connector is also there, and there is a back panel connection. This is a back panel connection. These are the RAM slots. Okay, these are the RAM slots. These are the back panel connections. Depends upon your motherboard, your back panel connections changes. In general, it is like a PS by 2 connector. Okay, so that is a mouse connector, parallel port. The big one is a parallel port. The 3 rows are there now. That is a VGA port. That is a display connector, monitor connector. COM port is there. USB ports are there. The black USB means it is a 2.0. Blue one is 3.0. And Ethernet port, you know already Ethernet port, RJ45 LAN port connection is there. And audio connector, so one for a mic, one for a speaker, one for a line in. So this is the each individual names, how it is look like, except parallel port, remaining everything information. The LAN port, serial port, also called as COM port, serial port, COM port, RS232, same names. Okay, VGA port, visual graphic adapter, video graphic array, both names are correct for connecting your monitor. You know USB already, and this is the PS by 2 volt and we connect a keyboard mouse, still we are using. This is another motherboard. These are the back panel of motherboard. You can see this one having a HDMI also. HDMI connected both VGA and HDMI, no serial, no parallel port. Because we are having a USBs, USB works for all type of connectivities. Okay, this is about a small thing about your motherboard. Guys, this is a SMPS, switch mode power supply. Switch mode power supply. Okay, so ATX type of connectors, AT advanced technology, 6+6 pin connectors is there. So now we are using ATX only, earlier 20 pin, now 24 pin. Plus there is an additional connector is required, 4 pin, 6 pin, 20 pin kind of stuff. You can see motherboard, SMPS connectors. Okay, it is showing this one. Okay, so this is usual power supply connector. Okay, 24 pin or a 20 pin connectors are there. Okay, the additional power connection is there. If you see this one, so some are a 4 pin connector, some are a 6 pin connector. This is the 4 pin connector separately for a CPU purpose. Okay, 4 pin connector. Some are required, so it depends upon motherboard. Okay, it is required 8 pin. This one is 8 pin one. This is a 4 pin one. Before I show you, this is 4 pin. This is 8 pin. 6 pin connectors also there. Okay, like this is 6 pin connector. Okay, this is 4 pin connector. Depends upon motherboard and SMPS. We'll get these type of connectors. 12 volts connected is. These are the connectors. Guys, main power supply is 220 volts AC 50 Hz frequency. If you are in a US, it is 110 volts 60 Hz frequency. Okay, SMPS having a connector SMPS. This is the main ATX power connect. It is showing. Okay, what SMPS will do, it converts AC to DC. AC power supply is a sine wave. DC is just very straight line. So in DC power supply is used for all electronics, including your mobile phones, tabs. Okay. Currently our LCD TVs, LED TVs. These are all electronic devices. All electronic devices require DC power supply. So we have to use an SMPS to convert AC to DC. This DC is different DC power supplies we are getting, plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts, plus 5 volts, plus 3.3 volts, ground, like that. Okay, so each color of these SMPS wires indicates different colors. Like example, yellow represent plus 12 volts. Okay, red one represents plus 5 volts. Okay, so orange one represent plus 3.3 volts. The black one represent a common or a ground one. The green wire represent power on kind of stuff. Okay. In SMPS, how to select an SMPS depends upon their wattages and 24 pin connector plus you require 4 pin connector or 6 pin connector additionally. So based on that, you have to select it. Okay. So SMPS in the wattages depends upon your processor, RAM, motherboard, and other components you are using. Based on that, you have to calculate total power consumption. You have to take little more additional to that one. Okay. For example, your total power consumption is 500. You have to take 600 or 550 or 600 is also okay. Sometimes it shows as a wattage or it shows as a VA, no problem. Okay. Both are same.
Sir,
What is SMPS will do? It convert AC to DC. It give different DC power supplies to our computer and other components. That SATA one is give connection to hard disk or a CD DVD. The Molex connector is also same for a hard disk or a CD DVD. So Molex is a older type like IDE type of CD DVD or a hard disk. Okay, so SATA type of connectors, SATA hard disk or SATA CD DVD are required SATA power connectors. Yeah,
sir,
yeah, tell me.
sir, SMPS converts AC to DC, then DC is supplied to whom? Like who needs DC power
DC
to?
power supply to your motherboard, your hard disk, your CD-ROM.
Okay, sir. So all the internal parts are run on DC power
Yes,
supply, right?
yes.
Okay,
Very,
okay, sir.
very. If you connect a pen drive also get a need a power supply, right? USB.
Yes, sir.
That is also need a. It will give that one also through motherboard or a through wire something like that. Very good.
Okay, sir.
You have a mobile. Main point is charger is there now. We connect to plug point. The plug 220 volts, 50 hertz frequency.
Yes,
AC
sir.
power.
But that is AC power.
AC power. What is that charger? Charger converts
AC to
AC
DC.
to DC, and it is given DC power supply to your mobile. Where it will
Mobile's
go?
battery.
It charges your battery. Battery is again DC power supply.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It will
sir.
supply to your mobile. Very good.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so these are the main two parts, guys. So next one is about your storage. Okay, so hard disk, floppy disk, tape drives, zip drives, different storage, secondary storage devices are there. So I will tell hard disk, but floppy disks are 1.44 MB size floppy disk. Nowadays we are not using because it is very less size data is there, right? So we are not using. Tape drives are we are using tape drives. Okay, so that is called DDS or DATs. This is used to store data in cheaper way. It is not like our hard disk or a CD-ROM. We cannot access a single file from it. So we are using these tape drives for backup. You know, even a cloud, in cloud you have a data and you ask a cloud, I want to take a backup, which is you stored in a you have a data in your cloud and you want to take a backup. You want to go with a backup solution. You know, whatever what they will suggest. So they will suggest a tape drive backup. Okay, they store your backup files into their tape drives. Okay, so what is the use of this tape drives, guys? Tape drives is basically we are using for store backups. Even CC cameras recordings also stores in tape drives. In certain organization will store the CC camera that closed circuit cameras are then CC cameras data they store in the tape drives. for a longer storing purposes. Okay, they don't need to rewrite on it. Normally in shops and all, they will store in hard disk, so it will automatically erase the older videos. Like you want a 1 month back or 2 months back video, so they cannot get it. Okay, so there's a limitation, storage limitation is there. Here it is, once cassette completed, they will remove a cassette, they insert a new cassette. Okay, so this is a DATS or DDS, digital data storage, or a digital audio tapes, store data in the magnetic tapes. So the cartridges, there is a storage devices also there. Insert the cassette, record. Once it is completed, we insert another one. They will label everything, smaller to bigger size. Stays also used in a certain period for a camcorders, like DVD recordings purpose. Zip drives. Zip drives also store heavy data to transfer the data from one place to another place. It is look like a floppy disk only, but floppy is generally floppy is 1.44, but this is higher. Cases 100 MB, 200 MB, 300 MB. In olden days, usually to transfer heavy data to installation of operating system like copy OS kind of stuff, they will do it. Backup transfer versions. Next one is CD, guys. CD is a compact disk, 700 MB data storage. It is an optical drive. It is not magnetic type. It is a CD-ROM. Okay, it is a magnetic type. It's not a magnetic, optical. Optical means read and writing of on CD is based on the a laser beam is there. Yeah, it's given some image. Okay, so read and write. This is a read and write header, which is a laser beam. Okay, CD-ROM. Next version is DVD. So CD-ROM is 700 MB, DVD is a 4.7 GB in a single layer. So double layer DVDs are 8 GB, around 8 or 8.5 GB DVD drives. Next version is Blu-ray. Blu-ray is also store mass storages. But you know, when Blu-ray came into market, that time already pen drives and external hard disks become popular. Okay, so pen drives are also available, external hard disks are available. So most of the people, and the internet is become more easy. So people are stop using this DVDs, CDs, and Blu-rays also, because Blu-ray is very costly, including writer, reader, the CD kind of stuff, DVD, Blu-ray, empty disc also costly. So people not become popular, but still Blu-ray disc are using where your PS4 PlayStations are there now, PS4 Blu-ray disc. So these are the Blu-ray disc because it can able to store heavy data. It is not CDs, it is a directly
Sir,
Blu-ray.
it is looking similar to CD.
Tell me.
It is looking similar to CD.
Yeah, CD, DVD, Blu-ray, same size, same look. The only difference is the density. Density
So,
means
sir, what is the maximum storage size Blu-ray can store?
single layer 25, double layer 50. Do not think colors. So there is a density wise is there. So 50 is a double layer, 25 is a single layer. This is the density. Pitch density is, can you see? A lot of gap is there. Less gap,
Yes, sir.
very less gap. So that is the density. The same size. Small CD DVDs also there. Small size CD DVDs also there. Okay, so these are the secondary storage devices, and also we are using hard disk. Okay, in hard disk, SATA interface hard disk, PATA interface hard disk. Nowadays we are using SSDs for storing data, and also we are using pen drives, external hard disks to store data, memory cards we are using. eMMC type of storage also we are using. We have a mobile phone. Mobile phone internal data is there now 64 MB, sorry, 64 GB internal memory, 128 GB internal memory. Where the data stores, eMMC onboard chips are there on your mobile phone. There is a small chip, that is eMMC chip. Okay, is there. Mini laptops, because
Sir,
we
it
are
is stored on eMMC or ROM?
ROM, not ROM, because they don't tell where it is stored. They telling very simply ROM memory. RAM memory is 4 GB, ROM is 64 to make it more easier. But it is not ROM, it is a eMMC storage only. See, it is 64 GB eMMC.
Sir, every laptop and every electronic device is using eMMC.
No, 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 no. This particular laptop using 64 GB eMMC storage. But this is also eMMC. But this is SSD. This is SSD. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Some are using hard disk, some are using SSD, some are using eMMC type.
But sir,
So
what about mobiles?
mobile also eMMC.
Okay,
You
sir.
can go to mobile phone eMMC, mobile tabs eMMC data only. This is an internal part of, so somewhere it will be located on motherboard. Okay, this is not ROM, but when they're telling for make it more easy, so that's it. This is the eMMC kind of stuff. You can go to any mobile phones list. Okay, so go to any mobile.
No, sir, it is showing ROM.
It will show ROM only.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is 64 GB ROM only.
Yes, sir.
But somewhere, if you go to original specifications, you'll find what is that type of storage it is. Don't waste time with that one. But and you understand, right? So eMMC, that is also a storage chip. Okay, so from
But sir, if
here, yeah, tell me.
if someone asked us that where is the memory stored, and if we said that it is stored in eMMC rather than ROM, so it would not be correct. It would not be wrong, right?
Yeah, it is not wrong, and it depends upon the person who is judging you.
Okay, sir.
So bad thing is, for example, I said CMOS is not a battery, and the other person is believing CMOS is a battery. The battery is a CMOS technology. Then I am become wrong. So only difference is if I'm a senior, I'm right.
Yes. Yes, sir.
If I'm a junior, I'm wrong. I'm a fresher, I'm wrong. So sometimes it will be like that. But important is, guys, never argue with your seniors or interviewers.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You can tell me frankly, like you guys pointed out, so CMOS stores data. But I said myself, CMOS means it's a technology, not anything. CMOS means it is a transistor. ROM, our BIOS chip, our ROM chip, is manufactured with CMOS technology. Okay, so then my statement, what are the written statement is wrong statement, right? So because I didn't check it, so I removed it immediately. So that is okay for me. But some people, no, no, no. So they will stick to that point only, that they should not be wrong anytime. Okay. So don't argue with that kind of people.
Yes, sir.
Never
Sir,
argue with seniors. Never argue with interviewers.
so sir, globally it is known as the data is stored in ROM only, not in eMMC.
Yeah, right. That's people think it is ROM means ROM only. There is a ROM. Okay. Someone, even the person knows they want to test you. It is showing ROM, and where is the ROM? What is ROM? They know it. They wanted the. If you tell eMMC, they will feel, oh, this guy knows already. Chah, I want to point it out him. Like I want to show him he don't know anything. He will disappoint.
Okay, sir.
So
So
act
sir,
like that.
eMMC is a type of memory card or it is a chip?
It's a kind of memory card. It's a chip only. Actually, I written memory card type, but actually it is a kind of chip only.
Okay, sir.
Mostly our pen drives and all on pen drive, it is those chips are there. No? It is like that. NAND memory type only. It is also a NAND memory. NAND memory. Our we have a SSDs. We have a lot of NAND memory chips on one SSD. So small another 10-15 minutes I will tell about these hard disk connections, because if you see this is a hard disk, guys. The round one is called a platter. The disk look like it is. That is called a platter. So data stores in this platter. Data is stored in the platter. Okay. So if you see there is a needle kind of stuff, that is called a actuator arm. Okay. Tip of this actuator arm contain having a this header, means, yeah, read and write header is there. It's a magnetic tip. Read and write header is there. This arm moves inside to outside of outside inside to outside on this disk, on the disk. Okay. So what will happen? So disk will rotate. Disk will rotate. This will be moving like a disk read and write. If you go to any YouTube, there, so if you search for a video, you can see how data is reading and writing is there. Okay, this is a read and write header. It move to out and in like this, and this disk will be rotate. And multi-layer disk also there. Some disk are having multiple layers. Okay, like this. So that is having multiple read and writers headers are there. Multiple read and writer headers are there. Okay. So disk data stores in the platter. The platter is one is that is a round disk. That is platter. Platter. Okay. Don't tell answer it is a, it will store in some round disk, sir. No, no, don't say like that. A disk means it is round. Okay. Anyway, data stores in the platter. Okay. This hard disk we call it as a mass storage devices. Usually we store operating system, applications, and data in the hard disk. This hard disk having an interface earlier, that is a IDE type of interface is there, then this IDE become ATA technology, advanced technology attachment. Okay, so that is PATA, SATA, two type of interfaces. PATA type of interface hard disk having 40 pin connector. It is a ribbon cable. SATA type of interface hard disk having a 7-pin connector. SATA means serial advanced technology attachment. PATA parallel advanced technology attachment. SATA serial advanced technology attachment, that is a single wire. So once upon a time, like a PATA is there earlier. So when I'm learning hardware, that time PATA is there. So later SATA came into market. So SATA is came in after PATA. But SATA become more developed compared to PATA. So SATA become faster than PATA. Okay, SATA is faster than PATA. Current SATA 3 version is running. That is a 6 Gbps data transmission speed. So this is the IDE or a PATA type of connector. You can see there is a IDE cable connector. The pins, it's a 40 pin connector, and this is a ribbon cable. One end of the cable you go to motherboard, other two ends you can connect two disk drives, means two hard disks, two CD RAMs, one hard disk, one CD RAM, like that we can able to connect. Okay, so one cable, two drives you can able to connect. This is a SATA interface. This SATA interface, the red cable is a data cable. So it is a 7-pin serial cable. One cable, one disk only. One end is go to motherboard, other end go to hard disk. Next to the one means you can see this part is our cable from SMPS, power cable connector. This is usually power cable connector. Some old type SATA hard disk having this Molex connector, white connectors. Some new one, if you go to any new SATA hard disk or SATA SSDs, this is for data, this is for power connector. Okay, so these are about how hard disk is look like. In a hard disk also guys, 2.5 inches hard disk and 3.5 inches hard disk also there. Small size hard disk, big size hard disk also there. Okay, 2.5 inch hard disk or a small in size, like your laptop hard disk are there, no, the laptop hard disk are in a small in size, that is a 2.5 inches hard disk. Okay, next this is the bigger 3.5 inch hard disk are suitable for a desktop purpose only. Okay, so also in a hard disk we have a external hard disk, we have a external hard disk. These are the external hard disks used to store heavy data. Normally pen drives are very small in size, right? 64 GB, 32 GB. It's a very small data we can able to store and transfer. But these are external hard disks used to store backup heavy data, which is your system having lot of data. You need a more free space. So what to do? Copy the data and store into external hard disk. Transfer heavy data. Okay, so for example, I have a 10 GB data is there. I want to give it to, for example, size processor. What I do? I copy into external hard disk, connect it to his system, and we can copy back, paste into his system. Okay, like to transfer heavy data, to store uh, data which is you don't require in your PC, or you can store your backup files also in a external hard disk. Okay. This one I will tell tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I will tell about partitioning, file system, MBR GPT kind of stuff. Tomorrow I will tell. The last one I will tell about SSD and hard disk and SSD differences, because it's the most common question is RAM and ROM differences, processor RAM differences, and hard disk and SSD differences. These are basically most common questions. SSDs, guys, solid state drives. It is a NAND memory type. NAND memory type only. Okay, so this data stores in chips. In hard disk, data stores in platter. In SSD, data stores in the chips. It is a NAND memory, like your memory cards, pen drives use this NAND memory. Okay, of course, it is a non-volatile. Both are non-volatile type only, non-volatile type of storages. It is a lightweight because of in hard compared to hard disk, Okay, in hard disk we have a plotter, we have a spindle motor, we have to acure arm, we have some permanent magnet is there, heavy circuit board is there. Okay, so become hard disk become a weight. Okay, and SSDs do not have any things like that. Okay, but that's why it is a simple circuit. What it is, it's a lightweight, easy to carry, small in size, easy to transport, and consumes very less power. Okay, power consumption is also very less. Very good high speed data transmission is there. You can read and write data as compared to SATA hard disk. SSDs are faster. Compared to SATA hard disk, SSDs are faster. It is suitable for a to store operating system and application. Better not for storing regular data. Why? Because of it is costly. There is a cost. For example, you buy a 1 terabyte of hard disk. What is the cost? Around 3000 to 3500. 1 terabyte of hard disk you will buy. You want to buy 1 terabyte of SSD, it is around 9,000 to 10,000 rupees. So almost like a 240 GB. You want to buy SSD, it is around 2,500 to 3,000. By if you add 500 extra, then you'll buy a 1 terabyte of hard disk. So almost like a one third or one fourth cost difference is there. Okay. So why it is not suitable for storing a regular data? Because regular data is heavy data. Movies are there, music files are there, documents are there, operating system files, virtual machine files. For me, these are big files are there. So if I want to store in SSD, I need a 1 terabyte of SSD or 2 terabyte of SSD. It has become very cost for me. Speed is different, guys. Speed is different. Boot speed increases. SSD, if you are used, the boot speed increases. Application load, faster application loading is there. The final in the SSD, okay. Two SSDs, type of SSDs are there. One is SATA interface SSD. Another one is NVMe M.2 SSD. Okay, M.2 SSD and another one is SATA interface SSD. Like how you connect your hard disk to your motherboard, same way we can connect this SATA interface SSD. How you connect SATA hard disk, same way you can connect SATA SSD. SATA SSD to motherboard. Like a SATA interface connectivity. So how you connect? Just normally how you connect your hard disk, same way you will connect it. This is how you connect hard disk part, and there's somewhere SSD also there. You can connect SSD also similarly. Okay, but if you use NVMe M.2 SSD motherboard, why cable? So not cable. So you can insert directly on motherboard. Because of directly we are inserting on motherboard like a RAM. Okay, so this slot is there now. We are directly we can able to insert like this. You can see. So how is inserted? Because of is not using cable, directly inserting to motherboard, it is give much faster, and as compared to SATA SSD, okay, so M.2 SSDs are faster. So when you are want a SSD, first choice is M.2. If you want SSD type, M.2 first choice. If no choice, no, you don't have a SSD choice is not M.2 SSD choice is not there, then you can choose hard disk or as normal hard disk, SATA hard disk or SATA SSD. You can choose any between those two things. Okay, you want a faster booting, faster application loading, then you can go for a SSD. M.2 SSD is faster than SATA SSDs. It we can insert directly to this. And compared to the cost comparison, M.2 is costlier than SATA SSDs. Okay, so these are the differences between hard disk and SSD and about a SSD also. The leftover part is boot processing and hard disk partition. So first of all, I will tell about hard disk partition because you should understand what is MBR and CPT, and another one is your boot processing plus operating system basics. Guys, did I share this PPT to you? Yeah, I shared PPT. Okay, so that's it for today. If you want more, then also no problem.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, up to this, which question we have to prepare for interview for
Basic
today's
hardware
PPT?
components. What is CPU? What is RAM? What is ROM? What is the difference between RAM and ROM? What is BIOS? Um, what is hard disk? What is SSD? Difference between hard disk and SSD. Of course, I didn't tell you boot processing, right? So, what is SATA? What is PATA? Just abbreviations and connection type. Yeah, that is enough.
The
Okay.
difference between RAM and ROM will also be there or not?
Yeah, RAM and ROM compulsory.
Okay, sir.
Common question, basic common question. And everybody must check once again how to check system configuration. What is your CPU? What is type of RAM you are using? What type of hard disk you are using? What operating system you are using? Compulsory check it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys. So that's it. Compulsory go through once daily. Go through whatever the day we are discussed. Please go through once. Okay. That's it.
Thank you,
So
sir.
stop. Thank you, guys.